Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and I've had a day today. Whew. All I gotta say, oh Lord, that's the police right there, Jesus. Let me get over and slow down because I don't have money for him. Lord, I don't like him looking at me, so I'm gonna put it in do my mirror a certain way. Anyway, get over so the people can get on the interstate. Yeah, y'all see how I get when the police be rolling up. The police be doing the most, and I be like, baby, get from behind me and go on somewhere else. Anyway, y'all, how y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. I'm just now leaving work an hour after the fact, and listen, I'm tired. Excuse me, y'all. I'm tired for real, but it's kind of like mentally. And look, I'm just gonna say it like this. So I was in my department with my partner today. I don't know how that happened because they had it where my partner was supposed to be over in the new department. Okay, cool, do what you do. So I'm thinking everything is fine. I wish this police officer would get one because I feel like he's doing this on purpose. Could you go, sir? Please get on by. So anyway, yes, thank you. Get on by. So anyway, ooh, you almost hit somebody. Do y'all can't see it? The person who was behind me, they tried to whoop over and get behind the police officer who just passed me, and they almost hit the person who was behind the police officer. Oh my gosh, y'all, I cannot. So anyway, so I'm in my home department working with my partner, but I'm working the side of the department that is very important and it runs really fast and all of that. I'm used to that. You know what I'm saying? That's my home department. Like, if don't nobody else run my department right, I'm gonna run my department right. So I'm not really, sweating that. There's this woman who she just started there like less than a year ago. I don't even think she's been there 6 months yet. Anyway, she worked downstairs, and so she kept calling on the radio. As soon as something would happen, she would call, and I'm like, ma'am, I'm literally standing right here fixing the issue. It took everything in me. Like, I was just like, girl, if you don't stop. So, it's fine for you to call. But when you want to call it, like, as soon as something happened, you ain't even giving it a second. Like, you would think that I just was being reckless, careless, didn't care about my job, just letting an issue happen. And that wasn't even the case. I was on it as soon as it happened, because that's the way you're supposed to be anyway, but especially with my side, which is the most important side of the department. Okay, so I'm like, girl, oh my God. When I tell y'all, at first I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I just was like 10-4. Anytime she said something, I said 10-4. And I just got to the point, I went on my first break. I was so sick and tired of her before I went on my first break that when I came back upstairs, I said, I'm not turning my radio on for at least the next 30 minutes. Like, I don't want to hear nobody's mouth. I don't care. And I had told my partner before I left the issues that were going on. He was like, oh well, they'll be all right. I was like, I know that's right, because they will sit up there and call you. Some of them, let me put it like this, some of them, did my phone move? Wait a minute. Some of them will call you like they done lost their mind, like the world finna end. I'm like, baby, it ain't even that deep. You got to calm down at some point. Like, I'm talking about setting that off, and I'm like, all right, now, I heard you the first. Man, I was so tired. When I tell you, every single time she called me when my radio was on, like I told y'all before, I only had my radio off for like 30 minutes today. And my buddy, he came up the stairs trying to figure out what was going on. He was like, where's your radio? My partner had just went on his first break, which on his first break, he going ahead and clock out for his lunch break because anything can happen throughout the day, and that's just the way he want to run his campaign. I'm like, do what you do. I ain't doing all that. My second break gonna be my lunch break. So anyway, he came up there, like literally after he just left. He hadn't even been gone 5 minutes. He was like, where your radio? And I told him, and I was like, leave me alone now. He was like, why you ain't got your radio on? I was like, because y'all don't want nothing. Like, it's taking everything in me not to go off and say, because that heifer getting on my nerves. Like, y'all, when I tell y'all she was doing the most, anybody else, like, if the divorced man would have still been doing the job that I do, he would have cussed her out. He would have went down there in her face and cussed her out. Like, that's how much she was doing. She was doing the absolute most. And my thing is, I would understand, again, if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, I would understand that, because there are times that the person that's supposed to be running that stuff ain't doing what they're supposed to do, and it's like, all right, now I gotta call up here. I would get that. I be on top of what I'm supposed to do. I know that they don't play no games in my department. I already know how it go. So I'm just like, girl, you doing the most for no reason. Like, I'm gonna need for you to stop. So, y'all, I gotta be careful over here. It's really weird. But I'm like, girl, don't nobody have time for you doing the most like this, ma'am. Like, oh my gosh, y'all. So, I mean, for real, like, I had to say, I told myself, I said, yeah, I am definitely going to keep my radio off for at least the next 30 minutes, because this girl is doing the most and I don't have time for it. So, I kept it off. So he came up there. He was like, why your radio off? Y'all, I already told y'all already know I cannot hide how I feel. So he looking at me like, well, why are you looking like that? What's wrong? I was like, I just shook my head. And, you know, I just went without really telling him what was going on. I was like, look, y'all don't want nothing. And they don't. Like, I just be like, leave me alone. Oh, y'all, I'm talking about that woman really was irking my soul. And I'm just like, girl, like, don't nobody normally even, like, it normally takes a whole lot for people to, like, get to me. Stuff like that normally don't bother me that bad. But she was, y'all, she was on one today. She was really on one. And I'm like, girl, like, you really would have thought that I was not doing my job the way she was calling up there. And I'm like, now, girl, ma'am, you need to calm down. Needless to say, I'm glad that I did not have to work over today, and that I ain't got to see her no more until, I guess, tomorrow. I think tomorrow is my last day of the week that I'll be working up there. They gonna get a rude awakening because I ain't coming Sunday. I mean, I'm gonna try my best not to put in for Monday off too, because I should have 4 days left to do occurrences for. So I'm gonna get an occurrence. I'm gonna take an occurrence on Sunday so that I can make sure that I'm well rested before I go into work on Monday, if they make it where I'm assigned to come in. That's gonna be my second day at the top of the rotation list. I'll go to the top of the rotation list Sunday. So I mean, I'm not gonna be able to be there because I need to sleep. I'm going to that function. I don't care what they talking about. I can't care. They need to have coverage. Now, I'm saying all this to y'all outside of my normal way of telling y'all, because I stayed over today because they were having a round talk. They were having a round table talk. Discussion, I guess you want to call it. They were doing that today, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on, y'all. I don't want to be disgusting. I need to clear my nose. I feel like there's some dust, and I don't want to do that and be disgusting in front of y'all. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So anyway, so they were having this round table talk, and you know, I didn't even know about it. First of all, I don't know why. I guess the woman, like, because we have the auditors here this week, I think the woman who always begged me to come, she didn't think nothing of it, because she could have texted me and you know, asked me, because she told me the next time one happened she would let me know. But I feel like because it's such a big presence and today was going to be their first official day there, that she was kind of like on edge. So she didn't reach out to me and say nothing about it. So I was like, okay. But somebody came to me this morning and told me that they were having it and that ours was at 8. I was like, okay. I was like, I'll think about it. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. Because I really wasn't planning on going like I normally do. And so, as luck would have it, this woman who I talk to all the time, they be working the mule out of this woman. So she asked me, was I going? When I went downstairs and I looked at the schedule to make sure I didn't have to stay over today and that I don't have to come in early. I looked at the schedule and I was talking to her and she was like, are you going to the round table talk? I was like, I wasn't really planning on it, but I mean, if you stay and go to it, then I will. So they actually had her scheduled to work over if somebody who volunteered didn't show up. Somebody who's new, he volunteered to come in and he actually ended up getting there an hour late, which was funny, but it is what it is. But anyway, I'll get to that. Well, no, I won't, because y'all know almost every time I tell you I'm going to get to something, I don't get to it. So what happened with that situation was, if he came, then she would be able to go home, because he did volunteer and they assigned her to work. They made it mandatory for her to work over. So they kept telling her, well, if he shows up, then you can go. Well, she went to the meeting while waiting on him to show up. And then as soon as our meeting was over, he started walking across the parking lot. She was like, is that him? I was like, I think it is him. And I'm like, girl, you a whole hour late. You probably going to get some kind of an occurrence for that, because you volunteered on top of the fact that you late and you already was supposed to be there doing work. Anyway, so let me rewind. So we're doing the table talk, round table, whatever. I think they wanted to call it a round table. And they were asking us, what all were we expecting? What has been going on? What are our concerns? All of that. And so I told them off rip, overtime, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I haven't been able to get my days off since my schedule changed. And so she wanted to know, the main person who was running the meeting, she was the only one talking. The other person was basically taking notes, like she was the secretary. And the other person, she was running the meeting. So we talking, and she was like, oh, so what are your days? And I told her what my days are now, and then she wanted to know what my days were before. And when I explained to her why I loved my schedule before, she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people don't think about that. Like, everybody was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, a lot of people tried to hate on my schedule, was like, oh, I hate that schedule, whatever. I loved my schedule. I love that, because I don't care about working on a weekend. Now, since I'm going to these functions and things now, you know, I'm going to do an occurrence here and there. I'm going to do a PTO day here and there, a vacation day, a regular vacation day, a regular holiday or whatever here and there for days like that if I need to. But yeah, it just is what it is. So, you know, I was just like, I'm tired. Like, every time I look up, y'all talking about we got to work over. I could be at the bottom of the rotation list, and y'all talking about it's mandatory for me to come in. What you talking about? I'm confused. If we supposed to have coverage on the weekends, why we ain't got coverage on the weekends? We're supposed to have coverage during the week. Why don't we have coverage during the week? I'm confused. And so she was like, yeah, we're doing a hiring event. Supposed to be getting, you know, looking to hire 15 people, I guess 5 for each shift of people doing my job. And she said she didn't know how many of the job that the woman does. Shoot, they need a whole lot of them. They just brought one of the people back that they had suspended or whatever, child. I don't know what his suspension was for, but he might have had occurrences, and they looked into him, and I guess they said all of them didn't stand, so they let him come back. Excuse me. But yeah, I voiced my concerns about that. I brought up the incentives. And so she said, like, for the last 14 years, they haven't done incentives because they were talking about something about the taxing. Y'all, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see what the landlord talking about. The lady across asked if I happen to see a package at the front for her. What? I don't know what she talk. If she ain't talking about, I'm gonna respond when I'm done with this video. She asking about if somebody saw a package. Girl, do I see my package? Let me calm down. Let me calm down. Okay, back to what I was talking about. Forget that. So Anyway, I lost my train of thought. So, I'm just like, I'm tired of this overtime. I'm tired of this forced overtime. Dang, I forgot to ask her. Well, it ain't even gonna matter because they probably was just gonna say, oh, once y'all get everybody hired on, as far as the no force weeks. That's the only thing I forgot to mention right then and there. You get this big old truck and you can't even park in the parking spot, sir. The parking spot. I cannot. I don't be understanding. So anyway, it's just a mess. We tired. One of the people who actually is on the shift that's currently in there right now, he came in. I was shocked to see him because at first it was just the two of us. So then he came in there. He's the Muslim. I don't know if he's Muslim or not, but he the one who said he was wearing Muslim body oils. He be smelling good for no reason. But anyway, so he was in there and he was asking questions and voicing his concerns. He was talking about the new department. Child, he said he tired of it because he feel like I said before, you need to have more than just one person running each side. He said, you don't understand. You need 2 people each side. You need 4 people back there, not just 2 plus a breaker, making it 3. No, you need 4 people and a breaker at this point because there's too much going on. It's too much. Y'all, I wish I could tell y'all the ins and outs because y'all would be like, no, y'all doing the most. Y'all think y'all gonna get, it's too much going on. So he brought that up and I told him, yep, you're right, because it don't even make no sense. That's why everybody has a hate relationship or a love-hate relationship with that. Because she was like, oh, well, when I talk to some people, they love it back there, other people don't. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, today was one of them days where I kind of wish I would have been back there. Because that heifer, she just kept trying. I was like, why is this heifer trying me like this? Girl, like you would have really thought I wasn't doing my job the way she kept calling up there. She better be glad that I kept my radio on as long as I did. Because I was about to cut it off way before I did for my break and then just not cut it back on. Only reason why I really cut it back on was because my partner, he had his, but he turned his off. I don't know why, but whatever. Anyway, so back to the round table. So I asked them about the incentives. They talking about 14 years ago was the last time they did it for tax reasons. And I was like, huh? Because I explained to them straight up. I said I was working a part-time job and I did not have to touch my money to do anything for months. And I explained to them I was going to get gas. I was doing all kinds of stuff. I did not have to. I paid for Christmas gifts with that money. I did not have to come out of my pocket to do none of that. None of that, because them gift cards was. So she basically made it seem like we ain't gonna get no money. We ain't gonna get no incentive like that. They would have to figure out something else because some kind of way the taxing part of it, they can't get around that anymore. And I wanted to say, what kind of lie is this? Because the other company do it. They still do it now. The holidays finna come up and they finna set it off as usual. Shoot, if I wasn't working there, I ain't gonna lie to you. Depending on what positions they was offering, if it was the same position I had before, I would roll up. Because I actually had fun. I really actually had fun in there doing the stuff I was doing, even though it was a job. It was actually pretty fun. Anyway. So I don't think them incentives gonna happen because I straight up told her I would rather have the money than the food. Like I don't want a hot dog. I don't want a hamburger. We want the money. And so some of the people, they were laughing or whatever. I'm like, shoot, I want the money. I'm sorry. And so she was like, yeah, it would be nice to get both, right? And I'm like, girl, I don't care nothing about that. Run me my money. Run me my money. But yeah, overall, I mean, I guess it went okay, but I don't believe that's gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen. Everything basically is like, oh, we're having a hiring event, and I feel like the follow-up after people have been hired and they started working needs to be better. And I explained to her, I was like, well, when I got hired on, the people who trained me, they came on my shift and, they made sure I was comfortable. Like, they came consistently, always checked on me, all of this, and didn't have to. They just made a point to do it. And I feel like after they weren't training people anymore, it started falling off, and you just will have a good person every other blue moon that would come out of these hirings. And I'm just like, where y'all get these raggedy people from at this point? Like, where? But y'all, I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired because y'all look, then Thursday, like, okay, so I'm supposed to do my hair. Yeah, first of all, second of all, and third of all, let me tell y'all, I was gonna wait. But at this point, I might well go and tell y'all because I don't think they're gonna change. So remember I told y'all the other day that I was gonna invite the divorced man over or whatever, right? So that he can go to sleep. And I had some stuff I had to give him, right? Okay, we made plans. And he was like, oh, well, what time? I was like, anytime that's convenient for you. You know, I'm going to be up. So I told him, I'm going to get off work and I'm going to take a nap. So I told him I'm going to give you updates throughout the day because I contacted him while I was at work. Like, this was your last day of work. Did I pull a 12-hour shift that day? I don't even remember no more. I think I pulled a 12-hour shift that day. So I told him, I had already saw him in person. We talked about work stuff, and then I went on about my business. So when I got in my department 4 hours later, I texted him, 5 hours later, and I texted him, and I was like, I forgot how I worded it, but I basically was like, your presence is required at my house, or something like that. And he was like, oh, you know I'm ready. When? And so I told him, I was like, whatever time is convenient for you. And so, y'all, when I got off work, I'd already made up in my mind that I was going to go and purchase a box of chamomile tea for him because he hasn't been sleeping well, right? Well, as luck would have it, the Lord be knowing. So I went to the store, and for whatever reason, my eyes went straight to this one particular box of chamomile tea. Now, this chamomile tea had like melatonin in it, vanilla, and cinnamon, I think. So it has all kinds of extra stuff in it. And yeah, it's supposed to help whoever sleep. But instead of it being $7-8 like it was supposed to be, it ended up being 83 cents. And the expiration date is like 2024. Because I always check my expiration dates. Because I was like, why is this 83 cents? What is going on here? I was like, oh, the Lord knew. Because he didn't want me to set it off on over $5, for this. Or whatever, I guess. I don't know. So I was like, okay. So I did that. And at first, I actually sat up there, was like, maybe I should surprise him and make some stuff. Maybe I should cook some stuff. And I'm glad that I said no to myself because that's me doing too much, right? Okay, then. So I had already purchased something like a month or two ago. It's a really, really nice toothbrush, right? And it came in a pack. And it has these interchangeable heads. And it'll last you for like 2 years. The heads or whatever. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I basically got one for free. You might as well put it like that with the way that I paid for it. I don't know what, some kind of deal that was going on. So essentially it came together and the price that I paid for it is supposed to be worth it. So I was like, you know what? I can pass this off as like somewhat of a, belated birthday gift for him. Okay, cool. So I have these 2 items for him that he doesn't even know about, right? And eventually during our conversation, I was going to tell him about the married man trying it. As if he and I have ever and will ever have sex because he's lost his mind. You've definitely gone off the deep end. No, I don't even want a hug from you, sir. I don't want to shake your hand. None of that. So anyway, I texted him and I had already told him, I said, I'm going to give you updates throughout the day. He said, okay. So then, I'm giving him updates. I was like, oh, I forgot what happened because, Ian's, the residuals from Ian were wearing off. So I was like, okay. And it was cool. So I was like, all right. So I'm about to take a nap. And what happened was something, I forgot what was said. And then I said something about how I wanted him to be there. And I wish he always was there. Meaning, like, for him to be able to come by and us to be able to hang out. Because like whenever we get together, it really is a whole vibe when we get together. So, you know, I really do get lost in the conversations that he and I have with one another. That must be brand new. That's a nice F-150. Y'all, I used to live for F-150s back in the day. I had to get my life together. I had to calm down. That is nice. That's got to be brand new because I ain't never seen an F-150 like that. Like, they got F-150 and like big bold letters across the back of the trailer bed. I don't know. I ain't never seen it like that before. But anyway, excuse me. That threw me off. So, but yeah, the conversations used to be really great. And I would get lost in the conversation. Like, it would just, I wouldn't even realize how late it would be. Like, how much time had gone by because that's how great our conversations would be outside of work. So, y'all, I ended up texting him after I woke up. I told him, oh, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to get up around this time or whatever. So I told him all of that. He was like, okay. So when I woke up, I was like, oh, okay, I got enough time. I'm about to, you know, shower. I texted him. I said, okay, I'm about to shower. Is 10 too late? No response. So I was like, okay. So, I'm not sweating it. I'm not really, focusing on it. Because I'm like, oh, he's done this before where he ain't say nothing, but he had already made it plain, like, I'm coming. So, like, I don't know what you thought this was. So he had already tried to come earlier because when I had said something about, I always want you here or something like that, something I said. And so he was like, I'm on my way now then. I was like, no, I got to take a nap because I was winding down, laying in the bed. And I just was doing like I told him that I was going to do, which was I was going to update him throughout the day about what was going on so that he would have a play-by-play. So tell me why this man never came. That's just to make a long story short. He never came. I really sat up here and I was like, okay. So after I waited an hour after 10, this ends up basically being 11 o'clock. And I was like, okay, sorry to have bothered you. Have an amazing week. You know what I'm saying? He's off this week. Like, he took off and he's on vacation this week. When I talked to him and he told me that he was going to be off this week, he told me that he wasn't going to do nothing. He wasn't going to go nowhere. He was just going to be off because he needed a break and that he hadn't had any time to pretty much grieve his mom. And he felt like he went back to work too fast after his mom passed away. So this was going to be his time for himself. And I was like, okay. But he trying to make it seem like he wanted to spend some time with me. So I'm like, okay then. Like, he really trying to make it seem like he trying to roll up as often as I will allow him to, because I've already told him, like, look, it is what it is. Do what you do, but understand this. I need my peace. I need my time away from people. So he has basically just been kind of operating on how my time is going. Like, whatever I got going on, he'll basically say, okay, let me, I'll follow your lead. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's been nice about that. Now with this happening, and this isn't the first time he's done this, so in my mind, now I'm looking at you like, okay, I think the wife's still living at the house with you. Ex-wife, whatever. Like, every time, the last time all this stuff went down, I kept making a point to say wife. He was like, that's my ex-wife. He didn't get no attitude or nothing. He was just like, no, that's my ex-wife. We signed papers back in February, January, or whatever he said. And I was like, okay. But I'm just like, look, you didn't let me know whether or not you made it home safe when you left. And I had to pull a 12-hour shift. Okay, cool. You never let me know if you made it home. And this was like a day or two before when it was terrible. Some parts of Virginia, it was raining and hailing. And I didn't know what was going on because where he lives, the last time something popped off, up the street from him got towed to pieces. Like, I'm just like, all right, now, did you make it home or not? Like, what is going on? I need to know if you made it home safely. That's what my thought process is. So, it is what it is. Didn't say nothing. And I'm like, okay. So now with this situation, you trying to make it seem like you trying to hang out, you trying to see me or whatever. I can't tell. You ain't said hey, bye, nothing. This man still ain't said nothing since that day. We were supposed to link up Sunday night. Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. Ain't said nothing to me now, and it's Wednesday. So I was like, let me see what's going on. Went on social media. And I was like, okay, I don't see no activity. Hopefully nothing's wrong. I went on there yesterday. Something always tell me. Something told me, go look on there now, right now. Because when I do it on my own, I don't ever see nothing. So when something tell me to go do it, I'm like, okay, I went and did it. Right before I went to sleep yesterday for work. Was just active 4 minutes ago. Oh, you online doing whatever you doing online, but you can't tell me, hey, bye, I got caught up with my son. You know, whatever lie or whatever you got to tell. You're like, you ain't saying nothing. Oh, okay. Like you're on your phone. You're on your phone. My messages work. My phone says that my messages were received by you. So what's the issue? I'm not understanding. I don't understand how you sit up there and talk about, oh, I love you and you are the person. Like, I've never met a woman like you before and all this other crap. I ain't never felt this way about a woman before and all this other crap. See, this is why I always look at everybody sideways like, yeah, right, I don't believe nothing you saying. Because look what you do. Actions speak louder than words. So whenever the next time he and I speak, I'm going to let him know I ain't got time for it. And that's why I don't give nobody no attention. This is why I keep to myself. This is why I feel like I don't need to be with nobody, because I expect the bare minimum and I don't even get that. I don't even get the bare minimum. I wasn't getting the bare minimum with my ex, whom I was with for 10 years. I couldn't even get the bare minimum from him. So yeah, but he trying to make it seem like he ain't like these other dudes. You know, the typical thing that everybody be saying. Oh, I ain't like these other dudes. I'm not like them. Anyway, y'all, let me go in here and see if my package is here, because I really hope so, because I need that outfit. And it's a nice casual outfit, but you know, because me being up in it, it's gonna take it to another level. And then whatever pair of glasses I decide to wear, it's going to really set it off. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna wear, glasses wise. Either I'm gonna wear this dress or I'm gonna wear this I don't even know what to say. I don't even know. They're like, I'm just gonna say top and bottoms. I'm gonna say top and bottoms because they are everything. I really hope it's in here, y'all. I got a notification and I called up here and they said it wasn't here. And then I got another notification like 15 minutes later and I'm like, all right now. Because I know sometimes they really will sit up there and scan it and it's in the truck and they're riding around with it on the truck. But why you riding around and getting it around the city and ain't drop it off at the spot? Don't do that. That's stupid to me. But I hope it's in here, y'all. Let me go somewhere because I'm about to lose my voice. Had a long day, annoying day. I was going to go and do some of my dancing, but I ain't going to do it. But I am going to dance like once or twice before I go to sleep like I did yesterday. It really made me happy. The little dancing and stuff has been making me happy. It's been boosting my spirits. So I'm glad about that. I haven't been as sad. So that's good. I didn't allow what the divorced man did to affect me in a way where I would become upset and cry and become emotional, which I'm very proud of myself for, because I've really trained myself to be like, oh, I know you said this, but I'm not gonna believe you. That's pretty much how I've been running my campaign as of late. You can tell me you're gonna do something all day, but I'm not gonna believe you until you do it. I apply that to everything, and it's sad, but it's true. It is what it is. Anyway, thank y'all so much for listening to me ramble on. Hopefully I will start back uploading stuff sooner than later. Y'all have an amazing day. Bye. Hey y'all. So, just to give y'all a little update about the text message that I received from my landlord. She was asking if I'd seen a package that my next door neighbor across the hall from me might have gotten. And I told her the last time I saw a package was a couple of days ago, and I only know this for a fact because I heard them when they scanned it in. Now, like I tell people all the time, you ain't gonna never try to lie to me to my some, oh well, I sent the package, whatever, whatever. If a package was sent to me and it was sent to where I am living, I heard it when it got scanned in. If I don't hear nothing else, I hear it when it gets scanned in. And a lot of the times I hear it when they sit it at my door. But I always hear it when they scan it in, whether it's downstairs or at my door. So anyway, I'd heard them scan a package in the other day, and I didn't know if it was at my door or across the hall, but I was expecting packages. So that particular day, I went outside and it was at her door, the person who she's referring to that's across the hall from me. And they had it like scooted up all the way to her door. So I was like, oh, dang. Well, I guess I got to wait another day for my package. That's what I'm thinking. Well, what has happened is her package is missing, and so she's been asking everybody in the building, have they seen it? And I told her just as plain, I said, like I told you before, they probably stole it. You see, ain't nobody been getting their packages stolen until now. Didn't I just tell you this a couple of weeks ago? That this heifer went into mine? Like, pried a bag open. And she don't have no breasts to speak of. So since she can't wear my bras that I purchased, she politely sat it in the middle of the stairwell, which didn't make no sense. Why would you sit it in between the stairs, the first and the second floor, like where nobody sits mail or packages? You gave yourself away. You ain't had no business doing it anyway. That's against the law. But anyway, I'm just saying. So I was like, well, wouldn't surprise me if the people above me stole it, because nobody had been doing any of these activities before they moved in. Didn't I just tell you this? Oh, okay. So anyway, she was like, and then I told her, I was like, I actually just got a refund from a package that said that it was delivered to me, but I never received. And so she was like, oh, well, yeah, that's probably what she gonna have to do too. She gonna have to try to get a refund. And I'm like, that's sad. Like, she gets a lot of packages just like I get a lot of packages. And I don't touch nobody's package. Oh, that's them telling me that I picked up my package that I just got. Child, y'all, I had bought something and I completely forgot I had bought these things. I might not even be able to use them. But if I can't, I'm going to give them to one of my friends. We gonna see. They say it's only for certain things, but we gonna see. Anyway, but yeah. So now, tell me why the conversation shifted, and she was like, so have you seen a white woman and a black guy that's been coming in and out of there or something like that? And I was like, yeah. Like, didn't I tell y'all this a couple of weeks ago that I heard and or saw this black man that was up there? And in my mind, I told her, yeah, I did, which I did. That day when they were really loud and they were outside on the back stairs. They were on the back stairs and they were so loud. I was like, the children are running amok upstairs. The black man and whoever the random white woman is, I don't know if it was her or another one, they were outside talking loud. I was like, how the neighbors quieter than you and they playing music and talking, and you just loud for no reason and you don't even live here? You need to shut up. Like, it was so loud and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I had to go to work and everything. They were really just out there ridiculously loud. And I'm just like, go somewhere. Don't nobody want to hear this. And it was an ignorant conversation. It was so dumb, y'all. I was like, somebody please. Anyway, shoot, somebody need to tow her vehicle because that inspection sticker been expired. It's been over with. Anyway, I told y'all she just started back parking on the street. She doing the most. But yeah, she wanna know all of these things. Have I seen these people? But this is the killer, y'all. This is why I had to come back on here, because at first I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing today. I'll say something another day. No, I had to come on here and tell y'all. She gonna tell me, oh, well, I told them that if they weren't living there anymore, well, apparently they had been letting whoever the black man and the white woman is live there, and that's the issue that's been going on, and that she wouldn't evict them if she put them out. And I'm saying to myself, the problem is packages are being stolen now, and they are extremely loud. The children are extremely loud. And I said to her, I was like, I don't know about all that, but they still loud. She ain't saying nothing. That's what I thought. How about you evict these people instead of being money hungry? Because there's gonna always be somebody who wants somewhere or needs somewhere to stay. Stop being money hungry, evict these raggedy people who ain't even supposed to be up here to begin with, and move along. Packages getting broken into, stolen, and everything else. And you over here talking about, oh, well, if these people leave, then I'm just like, I was supposed to move a while ago, but I decided to get a car first. I needed a car first. I needed to upgrade my car first. Not upgrade as in, ooh, I had a Mercedes, this particular year Mercedes, and I had to get this model and what. No, I actually needed a vehicle. So if it wasn't for that, I would have moved, and I would have never even experienced this. Anyway, sorry for boring y'all even more. Let me go inside and start winding down. I'm about to get me some exercise in. That's what I'm finna do. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye.